Good morning, welcome back to yet another vlog. This will be 2 days in a row. Today I have a medical for my adjustment of my residency status here in America. So I thought I would vlog it because as a European, as an Irishman, back home, this medical would be free. Now, I'm not nervous about the actual medical itself. I'm nervous about the potential shock of the bill at the end of the medical. Now, the internet does say that it's between $250 and $650, which is perfectly fine, but it's America. So they might just throw a random zero on the end of one of those numbers, and we won't know until we're done. I did put a question box up on Instagram, and I thought I would answer some of those questions as I go about the day. First question from Esor Dawkima. I'm sorry if I butcher some of your names. They asked, why do you start your content? So I never started the content with the idea of growing a massive platform or this becoming my full-time job. I just started sharing my outfits on Instagram and then much later on TikTok, just because I had a passion for photography, for video making, and a passion for dressing well. I just liked documenting my outfits and putting them on the internet, and for 10 years nobody watched them, and now I'm very lucky that millions of people watch them. So Abdullah asked, would you ever collaborate with your dad? So there's a couple of kind of hurdles there. The first one being I'm in America and he's in Ireland, and the second one, which is the most important one, is that he is a very private and very shy person. So the level of coercion it would take to get him to do an Instagram reel with me would be simply ungodly. It would take weeks of convincing, if not a straight up bribe. When will the Mazo get a restock? The Mazo will get a restock very, very soon. We're just revamping the website, and we had to take new e-commerce photos for some brand new product that's coming. So some of the old product will carry forward into drop 2. Some of that product will drop off completely, and we'll add brand new product. That's coming very soon. Brett Whitehead asks, what is the best budget watch between $100 and $150? I am going to say, which is the Casio F91W. A ton of different colorways. The black and green is particularly my favorite. It'll come in all black, it'll come in all silver, it'll come in all gold, it'll come in pink, blue, white, whatever you want pretty much. This thing is an icon, is well respected in the watch world. It is super slim, super nice, super comfortable, and yeah, if I only had $150 max to buy a watch, and only one watch, it would be the Casio F91W. So Brent Whitehead also asked, does a watch require maintenance? Yes and yes. So like if it's a quartz watch, changing the battery technically counts as maintenance. If it's a mechanical watch, whether it's self-wind or an automatic, they do require maintenance too. They require servicing. Beachap15 asks, do you ever wear shorts? I mean, yeah, obviously, just not in the winter time. Charula asks, where do you get your motivation from? I mean, it's really, really simple. I think Casey Neistat puts it in one of his vlogs. The only thing standing in between you and your goals is hard work, and I don't think you need any more motivation than that. The difference between having dreams and having goals is the willingness to work for them. Danielle Fitzgerald asks, what country are you going to marry in? America. JF Mora asks, is it okay to mix jewellery like gold, silver, black, bronze? Yes. Like, I'm wearing a silver watch right now and a gold ring. I'm not wearing my signet ring today, but like, because I forgot to put it on. But I mix my jewellery all of the time. Look at it like this. If you were married and your wedding ring was silver, white, gold, platinum, anything along those lines, and someone came up to you and said, hey, do you want this free solid gold Rolex? Would you take your wedding ring off and wear the Rolex? Would you turn down the Rolex? Or would you simply mix the metals? You would simply mix the metals, because you're not going to take your wedding ring off, and you're definitely not going to turn down a free Rolex. So just mix your metals. Anybody that says that you can't is simply wrong. That's just not a rule. It's just not a thing. Some people like doing it. Some people don't like doing it. Corinne, for example, basically exclusively wears gold. She would never mix her metals. I mix my metals all the time. So it's purely a personal preference. If you like how it looks, do it. If you don't like how it looks, then don't do it. If anybody tells you what you're doing is wrong, tell them to go fuck themselves, because they're wrong. Metalcore She asks, if you could change career to something different from what you do now, what would it be? That is the easiest question in the entire world. I would be a football coach. That's what I would do as a day job for a living. If I could get paid well enough to do that, I would definitely. If somebody gave me the opportunity right now, this minute, to earn the exact same money I do now, but as a football coach, I would take it immediately. And don't get me wrong, I love what I do now. I'm very privileged to do what I do, but I would be a football coach. And by football, I mean soccer for my American cousins. When I get my residency status here in America and I get a social security number and I can actually do American things other than just live here, going and becoming a football coach is on the agenda. I will still be doing this as a career. I will also just be pursuing football coaching like I did years ago in Ireland, because it's something that is a deep passion of mine. And we say that right as we're passing a football club. That is the Columbia Premier Football Club training facilities right there. So yeah,
that could be where you do it.
I would probably end up in like a high school first.
That's fair. I think this,
because you would need to like build up your kind of resume here. But yeah, that's what I would do, and that's what I plan on doing. But I don't have to change my entire career in order to do it. I can do both. We were stuck behind a very slow truck, but we're 1 minute away with 2 minutes to spare. Surely the last thing I want to do is be late for my appointment, considering it's for adjusting my residency status. We're just here now, so it'll be fine. No worries. I just might be slightly broke after I get the bill from this. I have no idea what it is.
What's yummy? Try mine. Oh, they don't mix well.
I don't want to try yours, thank you. So, medical done, finished.
Ooh.
It didn't cost thousands of dollars, thankfully. It cost $300. What we need to do now is
get all your vaccine records.
I need to email my GP, my general practitioner back home in Dublin, to see if I can get my vaccine records. So all the vaccines you get when you're a baby, they need them. They need to prove that I have them. Some of them they'll probably be able to get from the blood work they just took, but for the most part I'll need actual proof, documented proof that I actually got them. Otherwise I've to get them all again, and it'll cost about $1,000 in total to get all of those different vaccinations. So if I can avoid spending $1,000 getting all those vaccinations, I will. But $1,000 for all those vaccinations is also not the end of the world.
Did they give you a list of all the ones that you need?
They did.
Okay.
And Corinne just ran a red light. So did you hear that? Well, she's behind the wheel of a car. I wasn't paying attention. While there's a huge cement truck right there in front of us also.
It's not like I almost hit it. I didn't make the yellow that I thought I was gonna make.
Anyways, let's hope we actually make it to our destination. Otherwise all those vaccines mean nothing.
I'm a good driver, I swear.
She's not.
I am.
She's really not. Well, the Amazon notification said that it was left near the door and or porch.
Did they take a picture?
No. And I disputed it on the app because the delivery instructions say to leave it in the mailroom.
Yeah.
And
I mean, they delivered it when the mailroom wasn't open. That's why.
Yeah, but there's Amazon lockers there.
Yeah.
So put it in the lockers.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I ordered Kitty 2 beds. So we did have, in a previous vlog, if you've been watching, you saw me build this like window perch, which was slightly too big. So what we done is we dismantled it and I put the bed off of that next to my desk, and Kitty loves sleeping there. But I reordered the window perch just in a smaller size so it'd fit better. But then also ordered one that like suction cups to the window so I can stick that on the patio door so she can watch the birds. Got a notification this morning saying that they were delivered, but they obviously weren't. And that leads us to our next question, which Gohan05 asks, what is Kitty's name? Lyra.
Her name is Lyra Jane.
Heavy Metal Skittles asks, when did you get the Mamiya camera, and any advice those who are a little bigger around the middle? I got it in December, and fashion advice for those who are like a little bit bigger or a little bit around the middle. If it's suiting, I would opt for a 6x1 double-breasted jacket because it just gives a little bit more room around that general area. Try figure out like your proportions. So if you're kind of big around the middle, I would wear things that have like a lot of structure in the shoulders and that are quite full in the trousers, so then it balances out those proportions. Also, there's lots of creators that create content that are just like me, that have body types that are going to be much more similar to you. So you can get fashion inspiration from me, but you can really pay attention to their content to figure out how they're balancing their proportions. And you can comment and DM those guys and ask them for advice, because they'll be able to give you advice much better than I can, because that's their everyday, that's their body type that they're dressing for, and they'll be able to speak on that much better than I can. Stinge Cox 11 asks, what's your favorite watch brand? My favorite watch brand, and my favorite watch in particular of all time, is Jaeger-LeCoultre Reverso. It's always been my favorite. It will always be my favorite. I don't own one, but one day soon I will own one. Maybe this year.
Ooh.
Maybe this year.
Maybe.
We have a wedding to pay for.
Yeah, and we want to try and buy a house too.
And we're saving for a house. And my residency status is not free. I just spent $300 on a doctor's appointment. I potentially have to spend $1,000 on vaccines, and then to get a lawyer to actually do up all the paperwork and submit it for my actual residency status will cost about $6,000. So
maybe next year.
Like with the money I'm spending on my residency status here, I could buy my dream watch. So my dream watch may just have to like wait a little, but we never know. We're working very hard on multiple projects all the time, so you never know what could change, what could happen. So yeah, I'm manifesting it for this year, but we'll see. The 2 asks, in the future, should we expect a Sideman collaboration? Now, Corinne here has no idea who the Sidemen are. Right? Would I collaborate with the Sidemen? I mean, I would be very stupid to say no, considering how massive these guys are. what that collaboration would look like, only God knows. Now, in saying that, if I was invited to play the Sideman charity football match, I would travel to the ends of the earth to be there to play that game. I don't care if I'm all the way in America. I would fly there tomorrow if I had to. So I don't think you can expect a Sidemen collaboration, for the simple fact is they don't know that I exist. But if they did and they offered me some sort of collaboration, then I would do it. Corinne was literally complaining. You can't see it there because like Corinne was literally explaining about this road and how like
the potholes are really bad because we had snow for a week and like the ice disintegrates the roads here.
From a geography standpoint, what happens is a process called freeze-thaw action. Roads are porous, melts into the pores of the road, then the temperature drops, it freezes, and because the liquid expands into a solid, going from water to ice, it cracks the concrete, cracks the tar macadam, and creates holes in the road. Corinne was complaining about it going in that direction, saying that they need to fill them back up. And as we're coming back, they're literally filling it up. So, Elvin Jose asked, how many shoes do you have? Well, luckily for you, I have a shoe collection video. I'll link it up there if you want to watch it. The answer is a lot. Canel asked, any tips on how to dress down a suit? I want to start wearing suits in everyday life. Yeah, it's actually really easy to dress down a suit. So if you're wearing a full suit, right, so let's say you're wearing trousers, jacket, shirt, tie, dress shoes, take the most formal aspect of that outfit and remove it. So what makes the outfit most formal? It's going to be the shirt and the tie. So if you change the shirt for a button down, which is like an Oxford button down, so the collar is buttoned down, and remove the tie, now the suit is instantly dressed down. Then if you take the dress shoes, which are probably a derby or an Oxford, and you swap them out for, let's say, a tassel loafer or a suede boot, dresses it down even further. And then if you apply those same rules of like, what is the most formal aspect or what's making the outfit more formal, it's gonna be the shirt. So swap the shirt out for a polo t-shirt or a turtleneck or a crew neck jumper or a crew neck t-shirt. Then you look at the shoes and you change the tassel loafers, penny loafers, or the boot for something even more casual like a trainer. The boots are pretty casual already, so I would probably just hover around there and then look at the material. So like suede would be far more casual. And then there's other elements, like I just done an Instagram reel about like kind of dressing down a suit. If you opt for graphic tees, add a baseball cap, add trainers, things like this, inject really casual elements into the suits and it will really dress down the suit. So it's actually much easier than you think to dress down a suit. Far easier. S Pains asks, if you could only keep 3 Memo Paris fragrances, which one and why? I would do French leather because it's one of my favorites and it's also the fragrance that I was wearing the very first time me and Corinne met. So French leather. And then the other ones would be Russian leather and Etek. And the reason for that is Russian leather and Etek layer together incredibly well, and they're also beautiful as individual fragrances, which means although I only have 3 bottles, I can wear French leather on its own, Etek on its own, Russian leather on its own, but then I can layer Etek and Russian leather and essentially get a 4th scent out of it. So that's what I would choose if I had to. Before we continue with the questions, quick update. The Amazon parcel was found. It was dropped into the mailroom. So we have it, which means I can go and build Kitty's new little nests. But also, I don't think you can see it back there, but Corinne's friend Bri sent us an engagement present.
A 2-part engagement present. Two-part, mind you. This is only part 1. And I was very much expecting something like very small, very sentimental, like, you know, a card or something like that. The box is absolutely massive. Also, the speed ramps in this place are really bad.
Are so aggressive. Fucking chocolate brownie on my white trousers. So, this is the little cat perch for the window. If you watch old vlogs, you would have seen that before. It's just a smaller version. But then I got this, which is a cat hammock to stick on that big patio door. Morning time, I generally hold Lyra generally in the morning time. I'll stand here in front of this big window and I'll hold Kitty and give her some kind of morning scratches while she looks at the birds that feed on the bird feeder. So I thought if I got her a window hammock, she could jump up and sit in there and enjoy watching the birds throughout the day whenever she felt like it. So I'm gonna go mount that and then see if she likes it. I did actually buy the smaller size, but it does appear that it's still too big. It looks like the same size as the one before, so let's try see if it fits.
It looks like the bed is smaller.
Turns out they weren't the same size, and it in fact is the perfect size. So now, yeah, Kitty, I did buy you a new bed. You're in your new bed. You're back up in the window.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Oh, is that nice? So we've soaked these suction cups as the instructions suggested. Additional cat hammock hung. She prefers the one in the bedroom because it's warmer in there, but during the summer or in the mornings when the birds are out there, trust me, she'll love it. So Riley asks, how do I deal with haters? How I deal with haters is probably not the best way, which is I tend to clap back. I tend to be quite vocal, calling them out on their shitty behaviour. I mean, I should get better at ignoring them. I tend to think of it like this: they would never come up to me or anybody else in public and say those things, so why would I allow them to do it on social media? Isn't there that like famous quote, you'll never meet a hater doing better than you? Or that baseball player that said, nobody boos losers. How are you, man? Burns Stressed asks, I work in a doctor's office and only own a pair of black dress shoes. What do you recommend with brown? Honestly, a suede brown Chelsea boot. Super easy to dress up. You can wear it with a suit. Super easy to dress down. You can wear it with khakis, you can wear it with jeans, you can wear it with like dress trousers or dress pants on their own with like a polo. So super versatile shoe. I would go with a chocolate brown suede Chelsea boot. Mahul asks, why do you only wear Memo Paris perfume? I mean, the short answer is I'm sponsored by them. I'm an ambassador for them. We signed an ambassador program last summer. But before that, I was a long-term fanboy. They sent me an advent calendar like a couple of Christmases ago. Completely fell in love with the brand. Wore it organically. Was a customer before I was an ambassador. So yeah, that's why I only wear a Memo, because my contract stipulates I only wear Memo. Also because I like it. So even if I didn't have that contract, it would be the stuff that I reach for most anyways, because I have lots of it. So depending on my mood, there's generally a fragrance to match. Denhill asks, what is the best starter budget for a bespoke suit? Now, there's a difference between bespoke and made to measure. So, I mean, you can get made to measure for between $400 and $1,000 or so. Like, I mean, there's brands like Hockerty or Suit Supply or Indochino. There's brands that offer a made to measure program that's really quite affordable. Made to measure is essentially pre-existing blocks. They take your measurements, they cut it off of the block that's closest to your measurements, and then do adjustments after the fact to get it as close as humanly possible. Bespoke, on the other hand, is a completely different process entirely. They take all your measurements, they lay cloth out, they create a paper pattern, they lay the cloth on top of that pattern, they cut the cloth so it's all individual panels, and then they take that 2D sketch from a paper pattern and cloth and then sew it all together and make it into a 3D product, being your suit. And with made to measure, you may only require 2 fittings. One, the initial measuring, and when you get your actual suit. Your second fitting for made to measure is the actual suit. It's pretty much 99.9% complete. You may require slight little alterations. When with bespoke, it's multiple fittings. So your second fitting is a completely basted suit. There's no buttonholes, there's no pockets. All the stitching is completely visible. The sleeves may not even be on, maybe only one sleeve is attached. The tailor, the suit maker, will then take that basted suit apart and recut the fabric and restitch it all together with the slight tweaks in mind. So shoulder pitch, sleeve rotation, sleeve pitch, the length, the side seams, the back, the collar, every single aspect of the suit will be dissected and remade, and then you do another fitting of that same basted suit with those changes accounted for. And then when both you, the client, and the tailor is happy with how the basted suit is fitting, then they will go ahead and start finishing the suit. It'll go from about a 30% finished product to essentially a 99.999% finished product. Then you will do your final fitting, making sure everything fits how it actually should fit, across the shoulders, across the back, across the collar, the chest, the waist, the sleeves, how the sleeve is pitched, how it's falling, the length, everything is then finalized from that final fitting, and then you walk away with your suit. As you can imagine from those two processes that I've just described, there's a reason bespoke costs so much more money than made to measure, because there's just simply so much more work involved. A starter budget, honestly, it depends where you go. If you're talking like Savile Row, you're probably talking between 5 and 10 or 15,000 pounds. If you're talking like Italy, it may be slightly cheaper, but you're still upwards in the like 2, 3, 4,000 euros, maybe 5,000 euros. Like when it's bespoke, it is not cheap. You're not only paying for the actual raw materials, the meterage in the fabric, you're also paying for someone's expertise, their time, their labor, versus made to measure is generally outsourced to India, Turkey, China, somewhere like that, where a big factory is cutting these suits and then delivering them. So it's a very, very different process. Nowful asks, what is a big no to you when it comes to styling your outfits? I mean, when it comes to me styling my outfits, like I made a video on this, I'll link it up here. It's the 3 rules that you need to apply to pull off any outfit, and they're really, really simple. I would recommend go watching that video, but in short, it's, do you think it looks good? Are you comfortable? Is it appropriate? So with the exception of the occasion that might merit a dress code, I don't understand why anybody would wear an outfit that, 1, they don't like how it looks, or 2, they find uncomfortable. So that would be my style no-go. Wearing something that you just simply don't like or is uncomfortable. Camera setup and lighting setup, I'm assuming you mean for the reels. So switching to iPhone really quickly, because I've just finished filming a Let's Get Dressed video for a giveaway that's going live on Wednesday. So as I said, lamp in the back, big window to the side, And this is my Amron 60S. So it's a little tiny little LED, which is super compact, super handy. It is on a fairly heavyweight, pretty big light stand. This is a, I want to say 60. I want to say this is like the 60-inch or whatever octabox from Newer. This is technically my key light in the window, and then this is technically a fill light. It's a couple of stops lower than the light that is coming from the window, so you can see that this is technically brighter than this. This just looks brighter because it's like filling in more of my face, and I'm also closer to it. But if I'm back here, you can see that this is technically brighter than this because this is just filling in the shadow. If I was to turn that off, now you can see this is very much in the shadow and this is very much lit. So translating that to a camera that hasn't got iPhone's kind of auto exposure settings on. And then the camera itself is just on a tripod. I can see myself on the flip up screen there. You'll notice it's all kind of washed out because it's shooting an S-Log 3. I use the DJI Minis at the moment, which I can turn off because I'm finished. And then this is generally the mess that I'm left with. So like fragrances, all the lenses, shoe trees, the bag. That in a nutshell is how I film the videos. Then I edit everything in Adobe Premiere Pro, where I color grade the footage and do a little bit of sound design. So using the mics, I move the mic around the outfits. So on the shoe 3, on the shoe horn, the zip, the side tabs, all that sort of stuff. And then when I'm in post, I'll do a little bit of panning. So with the perfume spray on the left and the right, the audio will pan left to right, all that sort of stuff. So just little details. Yes, darling? You need to pee?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Okay.
But if you can hear that in the background, that's the fridge, which kind of runs periodically throughout the day, like that fan or whatever. I'm not entirely sure why or if or how or whatever. But generally I have to time my filming in between the fridge going on and off, because one, you can actually, in the videos, you can actually hear the fan on this light, which is the only downside to that light itself, that if I'm standing too close to it, you can hear it. But the fridge, you can 1,000,000% hear. The mics definitely pick it up. The way I kind of treat the DJI mics is that if my ears can hear it, the mics can definitely hear it. So if I'm standing all the way over here and I can hear that fridge, the mics are definitely picking it up too. So generally I'll kind of aim to film when it's quietest. For example, Corinne was eating Doritos and the packet was like crumpling. So I took a bowl and went in and poured some into a bowl and then took the packet away. So she can continue eating her Doritos, but I don't have to listen to the paper packet crumpling, because even though she's all the way down in the office, if I can hear it all the way down here, the mics can definitely hear it. So anyways, I'm gonna go edit these videos now. So by the time you're watching this video, if you're watching them on the days that they come out, the giveaway won't be live till tomorrow. So just for the sake of time management, I've filmed 2 videos like right now. So like today's outfit, which is not this one, it's the one you would have seen earlier in the vlog. And then this outfit, which will be for tomorrow because it's for the giveaway. So hope that makes sense.